All right, so week 7 journal. So I'm done with my hours. I'm trying to get all of my entries in. I have learned though that the documentation is one of the biggest pieces as a advanced practice nurse for sure. Um, it's just a lot. It has to be done on time. The money behind that documentation really drives the business. And so I had this time, been taking notes, and I'm like, as soon as I can, I'll put them in, which is ended up being a lot, and trying to get everything in before the end of the semester was probably not the smartest idea. But I've learned that keeping up with my documentation on a daily basis is definitely key. Where I do my clinical hours, they have scribes here, so you don't really see the NPs or the psychiatrists really struggling to get their documentation in because they have scribes. So something to really think about maybe. The other thing that I've learned or that I find really interesting is, as a provider, the legal status of petition to court order treatment is a big deal. So I finally this week put it in as a method to really understanding it for the state of Arizona anyway. You can petition somebody that's a danger to self or others. There is a form that you fill out and can be submitted. And then at the psych hospital, they get assessed and determined if they need to go to a level 1 for further, treatment, or if that petition can be dropped and they're sent home. So by the time they get here, those petition patients either get court ordered because they continue to be a danger to themselves or others, or the psychiatrist determines that the petition can be dropped after a level 1 assessment and treatment. So when consents come into play, we still have to ask them for consents for psychotropic meds, and they have the right to refuse because they haven't been court ordered. And then, of course, if they refuse and the behavior is still there and the danger to self or others, they go to court and a judge determines whether they'll be court ordered for treatment because the probability of them hurting themselves or others or not able to sustain their life out in the community or a danger to the community, then they become court ordered. At that point, they usually an LAI will be given. That's what we do here. But if not, then it's PO meds. And then if they refuse, there's a PRN med that is usually intramuscular or IM med that is given. And at that point, consent isn't necessary because they're court ordered. So this week I kind of did like a little, like a little asking around if anybody really understood, the difference in my work area, and a lot of people didn't understand the petition to the court order, to the revoked, to the VCOT, and so it was kind of cool to educate on that and what it really means as a provider to take someone to court and say, in front of a judge, this is my assessment and this is why I feel that this person or this patient would be a danger to themselves or others, or in the community. We have a courtroom here. The attorneys come in and serve the patients when needed. Since I work nights, I don't see a whole lot of that, but in my clinical hours, and then starting to work a little bit of days to see how everything, is played out is really interesting, actually. All the legal status that's behind the behavioral health community. I think we play a huge role in keeping people safe, either to themselves or others. We had a really interesting case where there was an older lady, 73-year-old, came in. She had just finished snorting, I don't know how much coke, and had lost her husband, and then was going into the neighbor's home at night just to break in because she didn't want to sleep by herself. And the neighbors were like, we didn't want to cause her any more havoc. She just lost her husband. Anyhow, after like 2 months of this behavior going on, this lady then not only was turning to street drugs to numb her pain, but then 2 nights ago actually grabbed a knife, went into the home, and woke up the adults and put the knife to her throat, literally wanting them to help her kill herself. So she came here, very very depressed, not wanting to participate in any assessments, not wanting to take meds. She was petitioned because she wanted to go home, and our provider here felt that she was a danger to herself, and so she got court ordered this morning, or yesterday morning, which is really fast. It usually takes a couple of days. They did an emergency one. Anyway, she was court ordered. We did an LAI on her, and we're just kind of seeing how she's gonna respond. But yeah, I mean, imagine that knife to one of the kids in the neighbor's home. Or we play a big role in keeping our community safe. So that's what I learned.